sign of the Z.
Dimittimus debitoribus nostris. Ne nos inducas tentatio. In paradisum deducante angeli.
Young Ramon Santil cannot make up his mind whether to be stricken with anger or with grief.
Poor boy. Not a half hour ago, the Maestrado demanded the full tax due on the Rancho Santil.
Demanded it before his father's funeral? But he must know he cannot pay.
His Excellency must do his duty, but at such a time.
Poor Don Luis. Is it true, Don Diego, that gambling killed him? He lost everything?
Everything but his land. And who knows what kills a man, Sergeant?
And his son. Don Diego, you knew him in the university in Spain. Is he also a little wild?
A little. He was thrown out of the university for gambling.
Next to your father's, the Rancho Santil is the largest in the whole district. Without money, how can a boy like that run such a rancho?
Remove your horse, senor!
Excuse me, Don Diego.
Eagle feather?
Senor, this is a funeral procession. You should remove your horse. Go ahead, go ahead. You should also remove your hat.
Will removing my hat bring the dead to life?
No, but at least it shows a little respect.
Why should I show respect for someone I do not know?
Seems we have a philosopher in our midst, Sergeant.
We do? Oh, what is a philosopher, Don Diego?
Or someone that hardly anyone can understand.
Oh, what is your name, senor?
Carlos Urista.
I am Garcia, comandante of the Pueblo garrison. Every stranger coming into the Pueblo must report to me.
Why?
Well, because it is customary. Besides, if you come from, or even if... You know why, Don Diego?
Sergeant, I suggest you get on to the cemetery. Senor Urista can make his report after the funeral. I have a feeling he will be with us for some time.
At least, senor, I must know where you are staying.
Is there more than one tavern in this miserable pueblo?
No.
Then I will be there.
Ah.
Now, this feather. I took this from Rojas' hand the day he was murdered. This one came from the Maestrado's messenger. Yes, I'm sure it contains a message. But if so, why would Senor Urista wear it in plain sight? Perhaps he just likes feathers.
I saw you come in. Diego, will you talk to Ramon? I tried to after the funeral. He was very rude.
He seems to think that you are offering him some kind of charity.
Tell him there is no disgrace in accepting help from friends. And no one holds the misfortune of his father against him. His pride proves he's made of good stuff, but he has never had to face responsibilities. It might help you too, Diego, if you would set him an example and take a greater part in the affairs of the pueblo to serve the community.
A famous poet, Father, once said that they also serve who only stand and wait.
I sent my only son away to military school, expecting they would send me back a fighter. I got a poet.
Diego, my friend, for the last time, I want no help. I thank you, I thank your father, but I don't need it. I sold my cattle, cleaned them out.
What? Who bought them?
Senor Urista. He's a businessman from Monterrey, I think.
You sold him your entire herd, and yet you know nothing about him?
What is the difference? His money is good. 11,000 pesos, enough to meet the Maestrado's tax demands.
If we had loaned you the money, you could have kept your herd. Now you have to start all over again. It will take time.
I have time. I'm lucky.
Well, at least let me buy you a dinner. You have 11,000 pesos, so it cannot be charity.
Please, Clara, have just one little drink with me. The innkeeper will not mind. I will pay for it.
He minds that you have not paid what you already owe him.
Ah, Don Diego.
Well, Sergeant, good to see you. Senor Urista. Well, Senor Urista, I see you've been busy today. You met Senor Barca.
His Excellency introduced them.
Oh, you're a friend of the King's Magistrate?
I'm hardly a friend. I presented my credentials this afternoon. My business will keep me in this pueblo for some time.
Oh, are you in the cattle business, Senor?
My business, senor, is none of your business.
Senor, I win again. If you will excuse me, I have an appointment.
Of course.
Senores.
May I offer you gentlemen some excellent brandy?
No, thank you.
How can a man who has lost so much money still be so cheerful?
What is money for, Sergeant? If you will not join me in a drink, perhaps you would join me in a game of Bruja.
Well, I have a dependable life. It satisfies all my needs. Why should I risk it gambling?
I would be delighted.
Diego, here's my chance to make up all the losses.
This is your chance to lose everything you own.
I'll lose it anyway. Without the herd, with no income, I couldn't hold the rancho past the next tax assessment. And I will not live off the pity of my father's friends.
Look at the way he handles those cards. He's a professional.
You forget, my friend. I've had some slight acquaintance with gambling myself. See you later, friend.
Another bottle. And Clara, later when you finish work, then will you sit with me for a little while?
I will not sit with you now. I will not sit with you when I am finished. Not tomorrow or the day after. For the last time, I will not sit with you at all.
I will finish what I was saying later.
You are finished before you have started, Sergeant.
Well, you're making progress, Sergeant. I remember when she would not even speak with you.
I've been following your advice, Don Diego, at any rate. I've been taking the exercises, but I do not seem to get any thinner.
What about those other things I told you?
What other Oh, you mean about not to eat so much?
Or to drink so much?
Oh, I do not drink so much. Only a little drop now and then to aid my digestion.
What a digestion. He's had 2 dinners already tonight.
I am a big man. My father was a big man. My mother was a big man. We are all big. I mean, I get hungry.
Well, Sergeant, perhaps you had better stop the exercises. They only give you an appetite. Would you excuse me one moment? I see you have considerable skill with cards, senor. It must take practice.
Skill is something one is born with.
Oh, I imagine you played well when you were a child. I do not know about your skill, Ramon, but someone once told me that brandy and cards do not mix. Oh, would you tell me something? I do not really understand this game. Is the object of this game to get several cards that are the same?
Please, senor, we must concentrate.
Oh, I imagine it takes quite a bit of concentration to play this. Did you know something else? That the Arabs brought cards to us?
I don't think the Arabs have any bearing on this game.
Well, actually, I should not have said Arabs. I should have said gypsies. The gypsies brought cards from Egypt. They used them to tell fortunes with long before they were a game.
I do not care who invented the game. I only want to play it.
Well, I was not speaking of the game. I was speaking of the cards themselves. Do you know something? Very few people realize that gypsies is a corruption of the word Egyptian. Well, it's obvious that these cards have nothing to do with your fortune, Ramon. Look what you've done, talking all the time. Who can concentrate? Perhaps Senor Urista would like to continue this game tomorrow?
A friend is suggesting that you're no match for an expert player. Under such circumstances, of course, I will be glad to call off the game.
I am perfectly capable of playing also. He is no longer my friend. Diego, will you please go? All right. Senor, please deal. I double my bet.
Don Diego, take some wine with us.
Thank you, Sergeant. You are buying wine?
Oh, of course, but Don Diego is my guest. They dare not refuse me credit.
I shall buy the wine.
Ah, gracias, Don Diego. Clara, wine for Don Diego. What a woman. You know, Don Diego, I'm still a young man. It is the time of life that I should get married and settle down, but no woman will take me seriously. It's not fair, Don Diego. Maybe I am a little bit overweight. You know what they say, a fat man always has a good sense of humor.
With a stomach like yours, you need a sense of humor.
You are addressing your comandante.
All right, Sergeant.
Sergeant. Don Diego, it's no use. To my own men, I'm only a little sergeant.
Big fat sergeant.
Well, Sergeant, perhaps the mistake in the thinking is that you only think of yourself as a sergeant. You must think of yourself as the comandante. A man is what he thinks.
That is philosophy, Don Diego? I am what I think. I think I am the comandante. I'm comandante of the pueblo. I am because I think so. Every inch a handsome soldier, trim of hip and broad of shoulder.
How do you know?
Because I think so.
Ho, ho, because he thinks so.
I am the man who captures Zorro. I am because I think so. Though the fox is very wily, I'll pursue him oh so slyly.
How do you know?
Because I think so.
Ho, ho, because he thinks so.
Now in battle I have won so many medals that my chest can't hold another single one, I fear.
The only kind of medal that you'll ever get will be for terrific speed and running to the rear.
I am the man the ladies love so. I am, because I think so. Senoritas can't resist me. They're my slaves once they have kissed me.
Now, is that so? Because he thinks so?
No, no, not till he shrinks so.
No, no, I cannot shrink so.
No. Wait, please. You have to give me a chance to get even.
You have some more money?
You have everything. I can lay my hands on 11,000 pesos.
I would like to oblige you, but if you have nothing more to wager.
I have something else. Clara, bring pen and paper, quick.
Come on. Go home. You've learned a difficult lesson. Accept it and go home.
I accept nothing.
Quickly.
You have some additional security to offer?
I do. The deed to the Rancho Santil. I bet it against everything I have lost.
Against 11,000 pesos. What your home alone is worth that. What?
Four kings.
2, 3, 4, 6 of swords. And the 5. Good evening, senores. It has been most pleasant.
May I ask, senor, what you intend doing with the Rancho Santil?
Yes, you may ask. But I am not prepared yet to answer.
Forgive me, senor, but you do not have the look of a ranchero.
And you do not have the look of a comandante. Sergeant.
Poor Don Ramon. What will he do now?
There's not much you can do when you bury your father and your future on the same day.
It is true, senores. The spring on the Santil Rancho controls the water of all your lands.
My cattle have been sick and drinking that water. And mine. Urista has poisoned the water.
Senor Urista decided to erect a tannery for leather on his land.
The mission tannery has always served us. It is just an excuse to pollute the water.
My sympathy is with you, but the law is the law. There is nothing I can do.
The question is, Your Excellency, what can we do?
Unfortunately, nothing. Senor Urista tells me he must continue to dump the residue from his tannery into his spring.
His spring? The water belongs to all of us.
That is true. My father never considered it to be his private property. Unfortunately, senor, your father is dead. And Senor Urista, it would seem, is a businessman. He tells me he is in the market to buy land.
You mean that by denying us water, he hopes to force us to sell our land?
Ramon, you fool, you spineless fool. Look what you have done to all of us.
Ramon may have hurt us, but remember, gentlemen, he lost everything he owns. A considerable punishment. But since the King's Magistrate does not intend to defend us against Senor Urista, there's no point in continuing this discussion.
Oh, senores, please understand my position. I represent the law. The law states explicitly that Urista owns the land controls the water, and the law controls us all.
Diego, thank you. Thank you for trying to help me.
Drive home. Yes, I'm afraid only Zorro can solve this problem.
I have another assignment for you, but we must not be seen together. Meet me at the east corner of the cuartel in 3 minutes.
I will be there.
Don't move, senor.
Zorro! What do you want?
Please do not let us disturb you, Sergeant. We are going to play a little game.
A game?
Senor Urista is an expert at cards. He's going to give us all a lesson. Get a chair, please.
Yes, Senor Zorro.
Be seated, please.
Right.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Who are you?
A fellow gambler. You may shuffle the cards.
Sergeant, there is a reward of 5,000 pesos for its capture.
And the promotion.
What?
For me, promotion to permanent commandante.
Do something.
That is enough. I'm not sure what impression this little bullet will make on that huge stomach of yours, Sergeant, but I'm willing to find out. And now I suggest that you play one hand with Don Ramon.
For what stakes?
The deed to the Rancho Santil and the 11,000 pesos you cheated him out of.
Against what do I stake such a prize?
Your life, senor.
You mean if I win, I...
Precisely. You die. A valuable prize makes the game more exciting, no? Now, I will cut. One moment, senor. Your fingers are a little too agile. I will deal.
Where are the rest of the men? You will sound assembly!
You want to give him warning, idiot? Now move out. I want the tavern surrounded. And, Corporal, I warn you, if Zorro escapes, I'll have the neck of every man in this garrison.
Yes, Senor Magistrado. Follow me!
Guard, senores? No.
4.
Send half your men around behind the tavern. I want every exit covered. And keep them in the shadows. Go!
See, let's follow me!
All right, senores. What cards have you?
Pairs. 5 and 3s.
What cards do you hold, senor?
You win, senor.
As I promised, Senor Urista has given us a lesson. I think perhaps he has given himself one, too.
You can use the money, but what can an outlaw do with the Rancho Santil? Perhaps you and I can make a deal.
I would be glad to make a deal with you, senor. If in 2 hours you are within 5 miles of the Pueblo de Los Angeles, I will kill you. Since you are leaving town, you will not need the cattle. We buy them back.
They're all placed, Excellency.
Good. Now take your men and break down that door.
You have your land and your cattle back. Now I make a deal with you. You will work the Rancho Santil for 1 year. If in that time I find that you have gambled, it will be the last card you ever turn. Is that clear?
It is clear. Thank you, Senor Zorro.
And you, Sergeant, stay away from wine. Sergeant, to stay away from wine.
Francis, up the stairs! After him!
You can save trouble by giving yourself up. Up after him. Get a ladder, quickly.
I advise you to go back. It's dangerous up here.
Hurry up the ladder. Don't let him get away. Idiots, he's getting away. There he goes. Trying to get down the rear of the building. Follow me! You up the ladder. Hurry, hurry.
You'll pay for it! Everywhere you will pay!
Excellency! Did you see that? I was nearly run down. I tell you, it's not safe to walk the streets of this pueblo at night.
I have no time.
I do not wish to tell you your business, sir, but I certainly think something should be done about it.
Something will be done.
Sergeant, speak to me.
See you, this will be vital.
Water! Would you drown me, woman?
What What is all this commotion about? It's just to be such a quiet town.
Don Diego, thank heavens you were not here. Oh, it was terrible, Don Diego. I had Zorro trapped when my idiot soldiers interfered. It is not easy being Comandante.
I know, Sergeant. You must have your troubles, but what a mess. However, excuse me, we do have a bottle of brandy here, huh? Don Ramon, would you join me in a drink?
Thank you, Diego. I have a lot to do. Good night, my friend.
Good night. Oh, Senor Urista, will you have a drink with me?
Thank you, no. I'm just leaving town.
Well, I do not think that you would refuse me, Sergeant.
No, Don Diego. Someone recently warned me to stay away from wine. But brandy is not wine, is it?